relationship more.
Do I have to wear this?
You don't have to.
Huh?
You look great. It helps though. It really helps. But you don't have to.
Wait, why does what?
J
what's the
Strain
difference?
on the
Because
beat.
sometimes you gotta go away.
Oh, like this tells you how
It
the
kinda
hair
reminds you.
visible.
Yeah, and then it keeps you talking right. I mean, you don't have to wear. Not everyone wears them. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, those levels are super low. Let's bring them up. There we go. And let's bring them up some more. There we go. Well, yeah. With you, I don't even get in podcast mode. I just like I'm talking to you, and that's
Just
what
like a normal.
yeah, because that's what we were doing. We're actually talking about. You can't hold it like that.
Why?
It's weird. You can't. We were talking about relationships though before, which I find your relationships interesting because, and we're gonna go. And you don't have to talk
Why?
about the
'Cause
guy you
I'm
were
a
just dating.
female?
But all this is clipped. Yeah, because you're female. Hold on one second. Hey.
Yo, I'm downstairs.
Okay, just wait like about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. He'll be right there.
All right, it's all good.
My guy. That was my client down there.
Can you grab him?
Yeah, he's good. But yeah, because you know, Josie, you're not ugly, and then date.
And that makes the relationship interesting.
I just think as a superficial guy that I am playing the role of right now, that we could look at you and say, you can get a guy that's gonna take care of you, and then you look at. And then I've dated girls before me being an entrepreneur. Have dated girls like you, and then I felt maybe not as an accomplished guy then, being a little insecure and feeling how weird that is, being insecure to a female that you might feel might be more bossish at you at that time. That's like,
I think.
you know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying.
But I think that's like the part where it's hard because I feel I always go on like one date and then I never get a call back.
Right.
And I think
But why?
And I think
why are you not getting the call back? And you know why. And let me hear your top three reasons why you're not getting the call back.
okay, my top one is probably because I feel like people think I'm really expensive to date.
Yes. I even thought, and you're my friend, but I'm like, and you're not bougie at all. You're hood as fuck. But I thought like, well, maybe she's at a certain point in her life right now where she don't want to like be in a car that's not. Maybe she has Uber standards. I don't know. I thought like, okay, she has Uber standards. Like you got to be in a car that's 2010 and up. But you present yourself a certain way.
Yeah, because I want to attract those standards, but like
So you do want money.
I mean, I don't want to be,
Not like that.
I don't want to be slumming it, like,
And
yeah.
Are those guys that calling you because they're broke, or they got it and they think you're just like that?
I don't really know because I feel like I've dated both, like guys that made more than I did and guys who don't. But then I don't get a call back either way, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's also like, guys who are successful, they're smart. Obviously, that's why they're successful. So when they see somebody who is so like high maintenance and they don't know me yet, they don't know that I'm like very independent. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like, it's just too much like work, basically, if somebody is like so high maintenance. And then it's also like cultural thing where even in society where guys are looked at to take care of like their girl or whatever, right? So then
That's still out there.
yeah, and like because I hold myself on a really high standard, like I don't want certain things and I won't allow those things that's not up to my standards to be in my life. And so it's like a lot of pressure on like somebody else who wants to date me too.
And you feel that from them, right?
I think so, because I think, so I guess one example is like
Hold on. Time out real quick. I gotta make sure this is rolling because we don't have a cameraman. Cut all these little parts out. Okay, we're good. All right, sorry. Continue on.
No, because I was like I went on a date with this guy and he's a realtor, and to me, like, you could be really successful or you could not be doing shit at all, like as a realtor, right?
Right.
But I think because like the first date was we went to a dinner and show. Like he came by like my salon to like pick me up.
What's a dinner and show, by the way? Because I'm not that fancy.
Like so near my neighborhood there's like a Mediterranean place that serves food, but then they also have like an acrobatic show that's happening while you're dining, and it's like a preset menu,
They
blah blah
don't do
blah.
that in the East Bay. Yeah, okay. Dinner and
Yeah,
show.
so
Okay.
you know, and I think like because I was like, oh, let's go there, because I mean, I guess I'm at the point where I don't feel like I need to like limit myself, or I don't want to like live where I'm like, you know, budgeting all the time and stuff, right? So if like I can, you know, go to this dinner and stuff, but I think for a first date and your bill comes out to be like, you know, 200-300 is a lot for your first date. So I think that kind of, you know, scares people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because they think that's a norm.
But I think living in San Francisco, that's kind of the norm. I mean, especially since, you know, we drink hecka heavy too. Like,
Well, tell me
cocktails
about-
are expensive.
Tell me about this, because before I met you, and as a normal guy out there, I felt like a lot of the things about trying to date women in San Francisco was that my guy friends that didn't live in San Francisco felt they couldn't get action because you don't live in San Francisco. So one of the first girls a question we'll ask from the city is, do you live in the city? Do you care about that?
Kind of, because like I don't have a car.
Kind of though, right?
But I can't commute, that's
First
why.
dating, yeah, it's important to be in the city.
Right. And I think because like, you know, if you're all the way in like South Bay and then I don't have a car, I don't see this going very far, because what am I going to Uber to you sometimes? It's like,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So yeah.
You don't see that then. You don't see Ubering yourself.
I mean, not.
No, but this is what all San Francisco people think of, because that's expensive.
But I think that's like any, like if you go to Manhattan is like that too. They have a saying of like bridge and tunnel, which is the same thing here. It's just bridge, right? Like if you go past like Brisbane or South San Francisco, too far. It's just that little island, right? If you go, even Oakland, Alameda, too far is over the bridge.
I didn't know bridge and tunnel was a thing.
I mean, that's like their slang out there.
Bridge and tunnel, but that's too far from me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and
you're over the, you know, you're
Yeah.
over the bridge, you're through the tunnel, so you're in a different
Well,
city.
it's just fascinating because people from Oakland and people from San Francisco, even though they're entirely very different, they think the same way, like locally logistics.
What do you mean?
Oakland, people from Oakland, I just interviewed someone yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them, like, do you go outside of Oakland every once in a while? He goes, no. You just spend like 7 days a week in Oakland? Like, yeah. And like, so I told him, like, so San Leandro is like far for you. He's like, yeah, that's far. And San Francisco, and there's not a lot to do in Oakland, but people from San Francisco are the same way, even though the lifestyle's very different. There's a lot to do in San Francisco, but people think the same way. Like, oh, you're in Oakland. Oh, that's nice. Like, they're not even going to come visit you. But you can come visit me, because you know it's popping here. But I'm not going to go there. But you're not like that, because you go to events in Oakland, and I've seen you, like, travel out.
I mean, if it's relevant
But
to
you're
what I'm
not
doing.
willingly to go. You
I just
know.
don't see a reason to, like.
That's so tough to date in Frisco, then, isn't it? It's really tough.
Yeah, and there's no more color in SF. There's only 3 types of guys. There's Indian and like East Asian, which is like Vietnamese, Chinese, right, Korean, and then there's white, and then black. Maybe that's it. But there's no more like anything
Latins?
else.
There's Latins in the Mission.
Not on. I mean, because
Wow, there's no more Latins in the Mission.
I mean there is, but it's not.
oh,
not,
but they're like not
but it's like
yeah.
because of the whole like like
get what
tech
you're saying.
boom and stuff.
Right,
So then
right,
you got a
right.
lot of like Indian, you got a lot of like Chinese, Vietnamese, or like East Asian
You're
mostly,
right. No,
right?
Indians and East Asian Chinese have kind of surfaced up more.
Right, and it's like it has to do a lot with just the Silicon Valley like tech boom and like all
Yeah.
the companies and stuff are hiring.
I
from
remember
there.
old San Francisco with the hippies and the white people that were smelly and all that.
Yeah, they're all in Berkeley now.
and Oakland. Oakland too.
Yeah.
Yeah. West Oakland. That's like the new San Francisco almost, like the West Oakland, Oakland downtown, Berkeley area. Okay, but going into that though, and just in dating in general, going back to the dating thing, well, it's difficult though, right, to date, right? Like,
But I think that's just generally anywhere. You got two, independent people who grew up differently, different environment, different views of things, and then trying to make that work is hard.
yeah, in general, or just in San
In
Francisco?
general,
Yeah.
unless you have no standards and you'll just take anything that comes your way,
Which is a lot of men. Which is a lot of men.
That's what I hear.
Which is a lot of men.
Yeah.
When I was chubbier, that was my thought process.
You just take what you can get,
Whatever
or
came,
what?
yeah, whatever was just there and liked me. I was like, okay, and that looked good. And I was like a superficial chubby guy. I didn't date other chubby women. You had to just look good.
Well, if you got it like that, then
I mean, it did, yeah, but it was just less far and frequent, though. I think dating the barrier is tough. I think if you're out of state, like in a breadbasket state, people are more willing to kind of commit. And out here, people aren't willing to commit. Right? What is it like dating you? Like, hey, there's no commitment there because I got to work on my business. You're second. Do you tell men they're second to the business? Do they know?
No, I don't think that. I want to say at this point of my life, yes, but I think I want to believe that when I stabilize into consistent routines, then I will have more priority with my relationships, like after I hit a certain point. But right now, I guess I'm not really sure because I always hear that once you're, an ambitious person will always be ambitious. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like if I hit that, I hope that I can just be like good and grateful, with me hitting my goal. But I can't promise that.
So what do you want? Do you see a balance of work in relationships and fun? And because I didn't at your age at 30, I just saw work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't really have great love lives. And I always told every girl that I was dating, like, you're second to my business, which wasn't really the healthiest thing to tell someone that you're.
Yeah, and that's kind of hurtful too. I feel like if
very.
someone said that to me, I'm like, dang, maybe I should just be with someone who's gonna put me first, right? Because I'm gonna do that.
You're like that though, or I don't know. I'm asking.
No, actually, I'm very which is why I think it's better that I'm more focused or single because when I'm in a relationship, when I have a boyfriend, I am all about them and I will.
Oh, you're clingy?
I am clingy.
That's awesome.
I want to hang out with them all the time. And I'm just
God, we don't like that, Mike.
I know. And then here's what I realized about
like
men
that.
and women, because guys want a best friend that they can kick it with, right? And stuff.
Kinda, yeah.
And girls want a lover.
Yes.
So it's different.
Yes.
So for me, it's well, if you want to do all this stuff with, what your friends, go freaking marry your homeboy. Why are you dating me?
Which is said a lot. Which is said a lot. Go with your friends then. And then girls have that really spiteful way of well, at least you have your friends to hang out with now, huh? Because I'm gonna break up with you. And they always say something real spiteful toward their friend. But I guess you're right. We do have that look. We do want a friend. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I don't know where that whole lover thing comes from, but it's definitely there.
Disney.
In those romance novels, maybe?
Yeah, look at all the rom-coms, all the cartoons.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Look at the
and this
toys
is
they
a
give
clip.
us when we grow
This
when
is
we
a
were
clip.
kids.
Yeah, those Disney boyfriends, we're not hanging out with those guys. Those guys that are all romantic, they're not hanging out with us drinking beer doing shit. They're weird. I'm just being honest. Ladies, that guy, he's not hanging with anyone. And if they are, they're at Michael's doing sus stuff, all right? I
don't know. I guess it's all embedded into us to have this hope to find this guy that's gonna be romantic, that's gonna want to be with us all the time because that's what we want,
But is that realistic? Is that
I'm learning that is okay.
Have you met one yet? I mean, you've seen him with other women married. Have you met one yet?
No.
Thank you. I want to high five you because come on.
I mean,
tell my.
I think it takes both, right? I think men need to put in effort just as much as women need to put in effort too.
For sure.
And and I hear from both sides. Girls will kind of complain about how he's not doing this, he's not doing that, but with the girls, it's well, what are you doing for him, right? So it definitely goes both ways.
I heard a quote the other day. What do you think about this quote? I heard this quote. It said, "Men are taught how to treat women, right? But how many instances are women taught to treat men?
I don't think men are vocal enough to teach. That's the problem.
Because women are very vocal.
Yeah, we know exactly, like, if I feel some type of way, if I don't like something, I'm going to say it.
Women are always saying it.
Yeah, I know. And I
mean,
wish
tell
that
me if
men
I'm
will
wrong.
say it too.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but women are always bringing up what could be improved in the relationship. They're the ones asking for their respect and their attention. And that's why I had that recent argument recently with mine, just like, y'all, we argue like we're building a business. I'm not doing that. And this is my point. You know, you might need to work on your relationship, but you know, a lot of relationships that aren't toxic don't need working on. I'm just being honest. Like I've studied, I've seen successful relationships. They don't need to communicate all the time.
Yeah.
They're good people that get each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good or bad, but they're good for each other.
Right.
And they get each other.
Yeah.
And they're both reasonable.
And that's very hard to find.
Yeah, reasonableness.
Yeah.
I don't think reasonableness.
Not reasonableness. I think I'm pretty reasonable.
No, you are, but maybe not when it comes to a relationship. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, I'm going through kind of a thing where I'm like learning what is real and what I want, because I feel like lately things have been changing so much that I'm starting to question myself on like, what do I want? And I don't think
in terms of what do you want, like as in a man or as in life? Or
well, I mean, like every time you date someone and then after you break up, you kind of learn like, okay, that's what I absolutely don't want. So then, you know, me and my girlfriends like joked like, man, I wish I could pick, you know, traits from person A and B, C, and then just put all these little traits.
That's such a woman thing to say.
But guys
that is such
do
a
that
man
too.
thing to say too.
Yeah, so
that is a very unrealistic thing to say about not being appreciative of God's work. Right?
I think we honestly, all of us have kind of lost our way in a sense of like, we feel the same emotions, men and women. We feel the same emotions and like we want the same things. However, society growing up has taught us how to behave.
Yeah.
Right? Because Disney's basically has just taught us growing up that we don't need to do anything.
This is a clip.
We are going to be saved by a guy.
This is a clip.
You know, and then that's why there's so many like dependent women. Right?
Me and Mike we just had a conversation about this with this.
But I'm saying like, so recently I came by a clip that, what is that Studio Ghibli creator, art director? Anyway, he talked about how like in all his creations of the cartoon, men and women in the movies are all an equal. Like there's nothing a woman cannot do that a man can. And then when it comes to relationships, it starts in a base of like a very friendship base. Like I'm going to help you out because you're my friend and you're going to help me out because we look out for each other. And that's how a healthy relationship should be, is I'm going to look out for you when you need it and you should look out for me. And that's how humanity, but that's how humanity can like sustain, is that's why we're not supposed to be by ourselves.
So I feel like men have that. And that's why we're not always vocal every day about what we're thinking or about what we should be doing for women, right? Because I feel like, and I told the person I'm dating that when you need help, and I've already proven this, you know, when you need help, I will step up and be there, right? But I'm not always going to be actively looking to grow this campaign or whatever that we're doing, you know what I mean? I'm not actively looking to put input in that all the time and then restructure it. And, you know, I just, and that's unfair because women, and let me tell you something, right? This is why it's unfair. We're out one night and her coworkers are all old, right? So we're at this bar in San Mateo.
Yeah.
And, it's this bar hotel thing in San Mateo that I guess used to be popping back in the day at the Crown Plaza or what, I don't know. And then all the ladies from the old couple were dancing around and doing this. Dancing. They're all a little bit thicker and pudgier now, but they're still dancing and looking around to see who's looking at them, you know? And the guys were just doing this. We're all just talking, and I'm just like, see, that's the role. Like, the men don't care what the fuck what's going on, but women are meant to kind of be looked at and adored and appreciated. And it's just, and maybe not, maybe so, but it's embedded. Y'all just meant to be looked at more, you know? And I'm thinking, here are these girls They're not dating any. They're not in the market. They're all wife shacked up, been for 10, 15 years, have kids, and they're still in the club looking around, seeing who is waiting to be looked at them. I mean, they were really looking though, Josie. There was like,
I mean, obviously you were looking to notice.
I mean, yeah, I did. I was looking at, and they even looked at me like, "Are you looking at me?" And I'm looking at, no, I'm looking at the whole social structure going on here, and it's funny to me.
I mean, I think,
You have to give your woman a certain type of attention. You have to, right?
Right. I mean, I think you
have
should.
to. We should.
But
If
I
you
think,
don't-
but it goes both ways because it's a human need to feel significant. That's why they say significant other, right? Because I want to feel special to someone, and that kind of leads into like, okay, there's like a lot of people saying like, oh, human beings are not meant to be monogamous and stuff like that. But
There's that.
yeah, but
There's a little
naturally,
truth in that.
yeah, I feel
Why
like
do
there's a
people
lot of
cheat?
and I think like we have like temptations because obviously we're not
For sure.
we can see what looks good and what
Everything
doesn't, right?
looks good if you don't have it right beside you at that moment. It looks so much better until you have it 4 months in. Then it's like,
Yeah, then you don't get like it's too predictable. It gets mundane, blah blah blah. But then that's kind of like the challenge. You have to choose to like be loyal, choose to keep things good,
because it gets boring.
right? But I think it goes both ways because like I would want to feel special to someone. Otherwise, like then I just have a bunch of friends.
So isn't it the trap that specialness goes away after a while? And then where
So
is
that's
it?
what-
Now we're just role playing, right? Now you're just the housekeeper and I'm the provider, and that's where shit gets boring.
So
right?
that's where the work comes in because people say like relationship is work. So that's the work is to
why-
continuously make your person feel significant.
Yeah. Does that go down in San Francisco?
What?
The marriage, the whole working together, the whole.
I think everybody's different. I don't know because I feel like I've focused so much on my career. I know exactly what I want to make, where I'm going, how I'm gonna do it. Everything is planned out to like the T, But like when it comes to
intimidating. I just had a glimpse of like trying to date you.
That's
Like,
exactly.
that is
They're like freaking out.
intimidating.
Exactly.
Yeah, because not a lot of men have their shit planned.
I know. Then that's why
So
like.
is it unattractive to you if I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing next year. I work at Home Depot.
Yeah, it's unattractive
Why?
because it tells me you don't know what you want and that could change. So then your feelings and your affection towards me is going to change because you don't know.
But that's inaccurate.
I don't know. But I
But
mean,
women think like that, though. They really think like that, though. They really do. No, you're not lying. They think like that. That's how they
I mean,
think.
it's unattractive because it's like if I'm an ambitious person, I'm going strong and I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going and you don't, then to me sounds like baggage because I got to drag you along.
You know what's weird is that I like a woman that's ambitious. It is attractive, but for me as a man to a woman, not necessarily needed. You know what I mean?
This is.
I want like, and I told like I don't need someone that's ambitious. I just need someone that's consistent. I almost feel like I don't mind having the ambitious girlfriend, but as a wife, I would want someone more boring. More consistent.
So
Is that an insecure man trait? I don't know.
I was told that it would be
It kind of
because
is, yeah.
if you lay it out black and white and you write it out like I
mean, I
don't
think
like
it
it
is.
when they are more successful than me, then yes, that's an insecurity,
Totally,
right?
Totally. I do. I definitely want to be more successful than my chick.
Why?
I think for me, it'd be more. It'd feel more financially right. And I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying as a man, I'd prefer to have more money.
Because you were
Than my
taught that
chick.
growing up.
For
That's
sure.
our culture,
For
our
sure.
society.
But I have seen the other leg. I have seen where women make more, and the man's all like feminized out from holding kids all day and. Honey, what should we do? And the wife's making all the decisions with a hunched shoulder, and I don't give a fuck right or wrong. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
And
I don't want a whole kid.
I get it. I totally get it because
What's wrong with me making the money, making more than at the end of the day? I don't really see anything wrong with me making more. Hey, hold on, I don't see anything wrong with me working to where my wife don't.
there's nothing wrong with that if that works for you guys, right?
And there's a lot of women like that.
There
like
is
that?
because we watched our mom grow up. You know, we
Right.
watched our mom be home care or home caretakers and
Caretaker,
yeah,
yes,
homemakers, right? So like, but the thing is, this is the thing I want to clarify with a lot of guys out there who's looking for that power couple
Please.
combination,
Please.
because power couple can also be the guy going out there being the bread, winner, and the woman will be at home like caring for the house,
The
right?
Amazon relationship, Jeff Bezos and his wife, right?
I don't know. I thought
Okay.
they like got divorced or something.
Well, no, but while they built it, he was the one building it, and she supported everything, got it all legal.
Right.
You know?
So then that's the thing about power couple, because I think a lot of guys out there, when they're like looking for a power couple, they're looking for the ambitious woman. They're looking for someone that's their equal per se,
Yeah.
meaning like, all right, she got to hustle as much as I do. Like we both getting it, and that's a power couple.
no,
But
that's not. I don't think so.
yeah, but that's what a lot of guys are looking for, or when they want to look for a power couple, that's what they think.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of guys miss the fact that, okay, well, when you're out hustling really hard, when you get home, it's different if like your home is not in a good place. Like without that balance, you can probably assume that your career is not going to be in the best shape either, because you got to take care of what's at home and for yourself, right? But as a power couple, and I like watch this happen, is my dad's out there like hustling and stuff, but when he comes home, he's comfortable, he's sleeping well, he's eating well, everything's already done for him, that now he has 100% energy to really go out there. And that's the same thing with me, I wouldn't mind if I was the one out there like growing and doing hella business stuff, but then like going home after work, my lifestyle is really shitty. I, smoke and then I eat crap and TV dinners or whatever. I'm over here.
That's kind of cool, man.
It's not because you know what? Like I would like
Is that
to
depressing
have.
to you? Like you want to come home to a man?
No, I want to
like-
come home to a home, not a room with a mattress on the floor.
But what's a home? Can it be an apartment, or
A
does
home
it have to be a home
is a
that's bought?
place that has your essence, and I mean like little characteristics. Because when you go to like an Airbnb, yeah, you got the furniture in and stuff, but there's no like, there's no like soul or like personality in there.
personal
It's like
touches,
those
right?
little things. It's really the little things,
Women
right?
always do that to a home.
Exactly.
That's why it's so heartbreaking when y'all leave us and you all take all that
Back
shit
to
out.
your mattress on
Is
the
that
floor,
why you do that?
your bachelor pad that's like a sad and gray. There's no color in there
That's
anymore.
why you guys do that. That's why this is a clip.
It's
That's
not.
why I mean,
It's not that we do that. That's
But
just
it's
who we
done.
are.
It-
Let me tell you, a woman makes a house a home,
Yeah.
right?
So a man can't make a house a home.
You can, but you're over here telling me that you don't want to hold kids, you don't want to cook dinner, you don't want to da-da-da. So I'm like, all right, you're going to live in a box with a mattress on the floor with some sheets, maybe one pillow.
Yeah. Every couple is different. Every couple needs to work differently at what keeps each other happy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I've dated ambitious women. I was very confident enough to do it, but I was confident you have to be. Because your woman's going to talk to men that are ambitious as well, and that's going to possibly fuck with you if you're not confident about it. And you could lose her too.
Yeah.
To those men. And you have to-
Nothing's guaranteed.
and that's the thing with entrepreneur couples is that you have to have that balls to the wall mentality, because that's what you need to be doing too.
No, I think it's like acceptance too. You can't look at another like woman and then look back at your mate and be like, man, I wish my girl was more blah blah blah. That's just
I never
wrong.
do that.
Period.
That's
right?
fucked up.
Yeah, that's messed up. Like but it happens when you're like, let's say you're a businessman and you're traveling, you're closing deals, you're feeling good, your wife is at home, right, taking care of things, but like you're out here, you're meeting other sales women who are nicely dressed and they know how to talk. They're charismatic because they're in sales. It's a lot of temptation, right? It's a lot of temptation because you're gonna go to
saleswomen. Yeah.
well, that's why all the recruiters and all the salespeople are women.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Well, sex sells.
No, it's not that. It's just they're more social. We're like way more social. We know how to connect with people, and that's why we're used as the recruiter or like the salesperson.
It's weird to have. I'm not gonna say it like that, but what I am gonna say that knowing that we're trying to have sex with the opposite sex and that they're in the workforce like that, and then it comes into play, that's fucking weird, man.
I mean, but it's exciting though.
It is exciting,
right?
and I'm not
There's
saying
like that
well,
thrill.
what are you saying, Brian? We shouldn't have women in the workforce. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that is such a strange fucking dance, don't you think? That there's women there. We're supposed to keep it professional, but stuff goes down.
Because we're human.
And it's such a fucked up place for our partner.
It is.
Because when we meet people through business, it's such a sexy thing. This is a clip. This is why so many people fuck on each other because but this is why this is a setup, and you've seen it, right? You're with someone in a relationship, and all you're doing is preaching consistency, loyalty, and all that boring shit. And then you get out there.
And you got temptation.
You're just setting it up for the guy, right? And then you just get out there, and then you're being ambitious, and then you're meeting other ambitious people, and then you're talking about all your ambitions. And it's fucked up because it's just a dress up. Like, you guys are just, you know what I'm talking about, though.
Okay, but dating is like that too. Like, so I really like to read, right? And then I swear, like, because I've talked about it or I talk about books and stuff, the guys or like guy that I like date shortly or like have gone out with, they will pull out a book and pretend like they like to read too.
Yeah.
And then, but they don't. Because then, like, a few weeks later, I would follow up about the book.
And they don't have the book.
No, and they don't, and they like never read it.
A lot of guys front with, but I do. I have a bunch of books in my apartment that I don't. Well, they're all read though. Hold on, they've all been read. They've all been. But I do have like a page folded in the middle as if like I'm still reading it, you know. And I just never unfolded the page, so I'm like, and I know why that page is there folded. But yeah, like men front a lot with the reading. Reading is the most fronted sport. I think that men do, yeah, like, or just the activities.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most fronted because it makes it seem like we're well read. That's an attractive quality to have.
Yeah, but you can always tell by somebody's speech and vocabulary.
Not well read.
Yeah, when they start like not using, when you can just tell by like their speech or like vocabulary that they use.
I can tell when I'm reading something, my chick is listening.
What do you? Oh, like listening to you read?
Yeah, like I just tell like the times, like not all the time, but like very early on, and I would like when I would read, like they listen for that. Women listen to see how you read. Certain women. It's an I mean, I don't know if it's a fact. I could just tell when I was reading, I was feeling like I was being adored. Like, oh, that's.
I mean, it's an attractive trait.
Because it's not attractive if you can't read.
Well, yeah, definitely. Do you want somebody?
I mean, you looked at it like, what? Like, motherfucker can't read? Like, you probably haven't met a motherfucker. But, like, yeah, Josie, there's a lot of people that can't, like, read.
No, I know, because I've seen somebody pull out a page and read, like, one word at a time,
and it's
like
it's
this.
Like, oh my God.
And then I'm like, nope, this person definitely don't read.
And I've never seen a woman not do that. I cannot imagine if I've seen a woman reading slow, how unattractive that would look.
Yeah, because it tells me you're kind of dumb. I mean, maybe you're not,
well, it had to be a foreign thing because I've never seen a woman not be able to read. But a lot of men, like, can't read.
But are you, like, around a lot more men, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, then maybe you just need to be...
Especially the kids here that record. And I see how they read and write.
Yeah.
I can barely do it.
I don't know. It's a big mix of people depending on the area you're in, I think.
Yeah, I have a very diverse...
Because when I, like, date in this...
blue collar out here.
Yeah, because when I date in the city, I feel like...
It's more white
There's
collar.
so much... Yeah, people are so smart. They're, like, engineers or... Well, whatever, they lawyers and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm like a little intimidated because I'm like, I hope I spelled this right when I text, or I like, just making sure. But I think it goes both ways. It just depends on what area you're in.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, it's a little different. How's the boyfriend you just dated? I mean, you guys just broke up. You told me off air, so I'm gonna ask. So, like, what went wrong?
I think, ultimately, like, the distance is, like, really hard.
Because this is a killer.
Okay, because I'm, like, trying to build, at the time I was, like, trying to build Dallas, too. So I'm flying from San Francisco to Texas to New York, and then I go back to San Francisco. And I'm
He's
like
in New York, by the way. Your business is in Dallas. You're in San Francisco.
Right. So, well, I'm trying to rebuild San Francisco, and I'm in Dallas a lot, trying to make Dallas happen. And then I would swing by New York to see him, and then go back to SF, and then I would just do this like every month, and it was exhausting because business.
Quick time out. We're getting to a good part here. All right. So you're on your way back and forth on a plane, getting hella frequent flyer miles. I get it. Okay, man.
And it's exhausting. Like at first, the
literally
idea
exhausting. Literally.
Yeah, like I'm physically like by the time
time zones all the time.
I know. So by the time I get to New York and I see him, I'm like, I don't want to go out. I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV and smoke weed and just not do anything. And
My dream girlfriend. My dream girlfriend, right there. The one that's not ambitious. But go ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just exhausted, and then like it's hard because I'm like the one that's traveling a lot, So then at some point I'm just like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And then what was messing me up is, even though I'm supposed to be in SF, stay put, focus, I'm building my business. Instead, I'm like, when am I free? When can I go to New York? When can I go out and play? Like I want to go out and stuff. Cause like, then it becomes like every time I go to New York, it's like, let's wine and dine. Let's go explore. Let's do the touristy things because that was fun. And then it was like always a vacation, like with him,
Was that part of the relationship? The fact that it was like a kind of a vacation? You're kind of seeing new stuff all the time within New York, a city you're not completely familiar with yet?
No, like I'm pretty good with New York. Like I've lived there for a year before.
Okay,
so it was just fun because like, him and we met at Nan's wedding and we reconnected at Nan's wedding. We knew each other already, but and then like it was just always fun. And of course, like after the wedding, we were like, well, let's keep in touch. And then I went to New York for New Year's Eve, had an amazing time, hung out with like him and his friends, and then came back, and then we just continued. But then after a few months, you're flying and doing that. I'm just like, this isn't good for me. And because all I want to do is get away so that I can come here and party with you, but that's not good for me.
Do those doubtful thoughts happen on the plane?
No, it happens when I get back to SF and see how much shit I missed and how much I have to make up because, I have like a really like nice routine. I wake up early and then I do like my reading and writing and blah, blah, blah. And then I have like a routine, right? Every day I have like a set thing. But then when I travel, it's really hard to try to like get back into like that flow of motivation and stuff and that momentum. Yeah. And then even for him too, because, he was like getting other things like in his life together, and then he's like, it's really hard to like party for like the week that I'm there, and then like having to go back into the routine of like going back to the gym, focusing time, and then
he's
work
entertaining
time.
You while you're there.
Exactly.
Right?
So then it's
gosh,
that.
yeah, I just got that.
So that's really why, and then we just and we are still really close right now. Like So something that we really bonded over was reading together because he actually reads, like he didn't front about it so when we like were at our friend's wedding.
We're reading together.
I know.
So you read books separately and you stay quiet?
No, we like FaceTime and he would read to me, and I just thought that was like the most romantic thing, and it was consistent. It was like every other day, every day.
He's reading you a whole novel or just passages?
We both have like the same book, and then we'll read like a chapter, or like he'll read a chapter like to me every day.
That's very cool.
It's so cute. It's so sweet. If I said that to someone, it's like movie moment, and that's like our thing. We have a lot of movie moments.
Like, oh, I took that in. Yeah,
right?
I might use that on the next one. Read to my next girl here. No, I can see that working. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's consistent because he actually reads. Like he's reading a different book right now, and then we can talk about it. We have like our own little book club, Yeah. But a relationship was just not sustainable with the distance because he's starting his business, or he's doing business, and then I'm trying to rebuild my business. So it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
And then the time zone. So like by the time I get home, it's like 9 o'clock. My brain is dead from the day. And then it's like midnight over there. So it's like.
Did you think it could work?
I thought so when I was traveling to Texas.
I could just keep flying.
I mean, I see like other salespeople. They fly throughout the country all the time. You know, there's
But are
people.
they happy? I've never seen a happy salesperson fly across the country. Do you know what I'm saying? I've
Yeah,
never
that's
seen
true.
them happy.
Yeah, you're right.
I've seen them in a rush.
But I guess you don't know until you actually like experience it, and you're like, that's why it wouldn't work, because I'm exhausted and this is really hard. And then I become like cranky, and I'm just like not in a good mood because I'm exhausted.
Because you're always having to catch up to something.
Yeah, and then that, you know, if my mood is not good, then I'm probably not going to be the nicest person to be around me.
I think that I realized that about me, that my mood has to be good, and I don't care what I'm doing in life. Like, if I'm not in a happy mood, I don't care how much money I'm making or who I'm with. It's not worth it, you know? And I just had that conversation. I don't want to feel like I'm entertaining you every weekend. That's not my life. You know, I need to do what I need to do and then have you there. And, you know, the first 4-6 months of your relationship should be a lot of entertaining, but I think after that, it should be something more realistic.
But here's like the fine line what I can't understand, right? Because it's like, if I can just do everything by myself and you can do everything by yourself, and
Right.
we're like completely independent, then why do we like need to be together? Like,
For companionship, for consistency.
but then we have friends.
But the friend, you know, and I get what you're saying, but those friends have families.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, they
well,
all have a significant other. So when they say, I need to go hang with my girlfriend for the day, you're going to feel a certain type of way. All I'm saying is like, maybe that person needs to be there for consistency. That when you need that person, they are there for you. When you need someone emotionally, you can go to that person, but not everyday emotions.
but then like,
You know?
can I just have a different friend every day of the week?
Sure. But I don't know if you'll get that same bond or want. And I think I know what
That's
you're saying.
significant,
From a woman's
right?
perspective, they're not going to give you that type of a love or intent if you can't give them that involvement. And so a half involvement from maybe how a woman might see it, you can't have that. And as a man, maybe that's our fantasy that we're longing for, right? Like that buddy that you don't have to be there all the time.
The
every
cool
day.
girl.
The cool girl. And we kind of picture that cool girl unfairly against our girlfriends all the time, right?
Right.
Like that. Because we all know one that's dating one of our friends. Oh, the cool girl. She doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
She doesn't
but
argue.
the cool girl is cool because you're the friend. If you were the boyfriend, that's the
You
cool
don't see
girl
all the flip-
becomes, yeah.
And those cool girls don't like flipping out in front of their friends, so you don't really see it. So it's unrealistic, but that's the beautiful part, is that it's a play, it's a game, and up there, God is laughing, or whoever, they're laughing. Our creators are laughing at us because it's such a good play.
Is it I don't play anymore though.
But it's a good play for them. It's a good, you know, to see what it's like. What would we do as humans experimenting to other species on? We would put them in these types of situations to see what they would do
Oh, so you test your women.
all the time.
Really?
I even told one, yeah, that because, and she didn't like that answer, and I said, well, tough. You know, all men are gonna do that because you know a lot of women will look for a moment of something, but all men are just judging time. You know, like it doesn't matter what we've been through 4 months. You've only been with me for 4 months. But a woman won't look at it like that, you know? Like, well, this is what happened in 4 months. So, you know, this is like our bond and what happened. And the man's like,
So if you got a woman pregnant within the first month of like your,
that's a bad thing.
well, yeah, but I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm saying like
well, sure.
this person wouldn't have more of a significance than other people.
I mean, in a way,
Like-
kind of. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you know.
Like that's kind of a big
but
event
just
that
because-
happens.
But just because that I got her pregnant does not mean I'm any more close to her because of a month. Just the act that I got her pregnant does not make me bond with her. We haven't been through anything.
Yeah.
She hasn't proven. You know, like a lot of couples have been with each other for like 7 years or longer that you can tell, right? They're not going anywhere. They literally have argued, had domestic violence against each other, you know, gotten back.
Yeah.
Nothing is breaking them up. You can just tell,
But
you know?
I think it comes down to your values.
Absolutely.
Right? Like if
Yeah.
your values, that I mean, yeah,
Some
it
men
doesn't.
don't have values, yeah.
Yeah.
And some women don't either.
Right. So,
And those values are conflicting because they're always changing.
well, because we're always growing. But that's the thing about like acceptance, right? Because you have to like accept that you chose this person. So love all of them not just the parts you picked, because that's not fully who they are.
That's what everyone's doing. That's
I
what your
know.
girlfriends are doing, right? They're picking pieces of trying to make the perfect boyfriend.
Right, and that's same with like guys too. That's why the song "Build a Bitch" is out, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, I do that at the gym. Her booty with her. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't do that. You know, I don't do that.
I think people.
I don't
do
think
that.
I've ever done that. I don't think a lot that. I mean, every girlfriend I've had, it's just they're a package.
I think what I'm learning now is what my boundaries are in terms of like, because you know,
Right.
you always hear the saying like nobody's perfect, but when you're actually now experiencing and you have that awareness, like, oh man, this person like is perfect in every way, but what I didn't like is that he has a baby mama and kids, like blah blah blah, but he's like perfect
that's-
everywhere else. So it's like that thing is like, can you
That's the
handle
thing.
that?
Yeah.
Right. So you have to find acceptance within like a person, because like if like let's say, so I guess you could say my ex, but we're still cool and we're still friends, but
Right.
he's like an extrovert. He like likes going out. He likes to talk to hella people.
Seems that way too.
Yeah, and I'm like the opposite. I don't want to be around people. I like just my own little circle and just be by
You're very
myself.
tight, yeah.
Yes, right? So then it's like, can I deal with him being that social butterfly and then I'm at home? Like, am I okay with that?
If you really love him, because you'll know you want your son to have those qualities or your daughter.
Yeah, I mean,
so, yeah, you would in that sense if you felt you really loved him.
right, or if I felt like maybe it's good for me too, because that we
Absolutely.
like learn from each other.
Absolutely.
But that's just my personal like thing, because to somebody else, maybe somebody would be like, no, I just want to find another homebody like me so that we can, you know, do that. And that's their thing, right? So then I'm just learning about what my boundaries are now, like what I can and cannot deal with.
That's very accurate. Yeah, I gotta have a certain things too, like it, you know. But also, it just I know me, and maybe that's why I'm not with anyone, because I feel like I would be really good in relationships, but I don't feel like the woman that I'm giving to is deserving. Is that I'm willing to deal with your shit, and anytime I get in a relationship, that's my mindset. You know, like I'm just willing to deal with your shit. I don't care what your shit. You have something. You're either too bougie or not enough. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, you're too. I liked you because you were bougie, but now that I'm with you, this whole like, is it for me? You know, and then I met you and you're not bougie. Like, well, can you get a little bougie? Because the girl at the gym's bougie. And I kind of want her, and I want you, and.
See, that's where
mean,
it's wrong, right? That's like
exactly. I
that's
agree.
where it's like the acceptance is like, well,
Yeah.
your girl's not bougie. Are you just accept that?
I am very accepting. I know what I'm getting, and I think what I see wrong with certain men or women is that they do that. They do the whole like, well, you know, it's not perfect in that area. Like, bro, if you were to never find an issue, like that person's a fucking AI robot.
Yeah.
You're gonna date your son is gonna date a robot in the future, because that's what we're talking about. But we're not. What doesn't work? And a relationship is not about. It's not a porno tape. It's not all about everything that's just gonna fit you and what you like and everything that's right. It's about two people coming together and making this shit work. That's what engineering does. That's what music does. That's what all of life does. You know, is that we hybrid these two things and we make it work. And that's why humankind, we get all teary-eyed from those stories. Well, they made it work. It wasn't even meant to be. Well, we do, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and
Like,
well, that's very much like entrepreneurship.
yeah,
When the
we
success,
made-
you only see the good thing.
business, right. The business, I had worked, you know, for 14-hour days. It wasn't right, you know, but I'm a millionaire now. You know, like, I'm dying in 5 years from cancer, but you know, it's a good story. Like,
Right,
what? Like what?
I'm aging
like,
so
because, like, yeah, like we all praise Steve Jobs, but he died. Like, what?
I guess it's really about what you want to leave behind.
It's what we're leaving behind. We're leaving behind a legacy. This is very temporary. Your relationship, you're not taking it with you, man. Make it work. I hate. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest.
yeah, make it enjoyable
That's the
while we're
story.
here.
That's the story.
But do you believe in like soulmates and
No,
stuff?
I don't. But listen, because look, when those people get right, it took that girl fucking them up to be right for that soulmate. I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's exactly-
When they had met that person at the time that they had met that person, they had met them younger before all that shit. They wouldn't have been their soulmate. When you have a constant, oh my God, she's crazy and you're not, then you're setting that soulmate up. You know what I mean? You're just setting it up. No, make it work.
Yeah.
You know, and by the time that you realize you made it work, you decided to be less of an asshole. The only reason you're treating that girl better because you didn't say nothing crazy to that ex-girlfriend now. You're not saying nothing crazy to the girlfriend now because you learned all that crazy shit from her, and all you're doing is hold her accountable for how she reacted when you said something crazy. It's not fair. I'm just being honest, though. It's not fair.
But
we give the other person in the future all the shit that we learned from
the baggage.
And we treat
stuff.
that person as if it was a bad situation.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's not fair, but
We changed.
that's why the self-awareness is so important, right? Because I don't think people really have that. I mean, a lot of people don't.
No, guys don't. We have ego, and we have no self-awareness. Girls have to kind of give us the self-awareness. We have none. I'm just being honest because I speak without my ego a lot and without my dick a lot. So I feel like I think things for what they are accurately. You know, like the whole, soul thing, right? Like, no. When people are ready to be right, then they're ready. And it usually took someone fucked up.
Yeah. So, okay, there's like this thing that's kind of like what I've been thinking about. Because I feel like the way guys work is like, so men commit or like settle down when they are ready, right?
Sure.
And I think women, we want to settle down when we find the right person.
For sure, there's a thought process, yeah.
And then the guy is like, I want to settle down when I am the right person. So it's almost like, all
That's
right,
accurate.
it's like the taxi cab, right? When the lights goes on, oh, that one's ready, right there. Get in
Yeah.
that one. You know, like the lights on.
That should be the
He's
thought
available.
That should be the thought process that they're available and ready. But a lot of them don't know. A lot of them realize they're ready because the girl's leaving them.
But that's out of like desperation of trying to like cling on to them. It's not
But
really like
it's a realization of some sort. I mean, I hate to say, when a girl leaves you, you really realize like what she was to your life.
yeah, but by the time like we leave you, I'm already over it because
Thank
we
you.
dragged out for so long.
Sometimes, man, like it's just me lately in the past 5 years when a girl breaks up, I'm relieved.
Oh, you're relieved, you said?
relieved. Before I used to be very heartbroken. Very like, oh, she left me and she doesn't want me and I'm pathetic. There's another guy that she wants and I'm left out in the cold. Like, I am pathetic.
Because you stopped taking it personally because you know it's not you, it's not about you anymore.
Well, once I
It's on
realized,
them.
like, y'all crazy, and I'm sorry, but like, like when I broke up with your friend Chantel, like it didn't phase me. I hate to say that, Sean. Like it didn't, like I was hurt. We didn't have a bond anymore that we could have, but I just knew like I'm not taking this personal. If we don't want to be together, it's not because of any one thing. It's just a situational thing, and I knew that, and I was kind of relieved. I was happy. And that's how I get. I get happy because I know I'm free and I can make choices and I don't have to entertain anyone. That to me is like peace. When I know I have to entertain you, oh, that's like you. So him, that
it's hard. Yeah,
that is hard.
It is exhausting.
For nothing. I hate to keep saying that for nothing, but I'm sorry. At the end of the relationship, you don't get no points toward another girlfriend. You don't get any.
Well,
It's
I
just-
feel like lately I don't want to say breakups, but like lately, and I mean lately by like the past, 2-3 years, there hasn't been any like bad breakups because I think I've matured to a point where it isn't about who did what wrong. It's more
Yeah.
like we're just not really a right fit
not
because timing or our values don't match up, or
Yeah.
maybe I'm going through a funk. I don't know,
Yeah.
but a lot of it is timing and values.
I feel you. My past, and maybe this is egotistical, but my past 5 girlfriends, I was very proud to have them as girlfriends.
You were proud.
I was proud. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of, hey, this is who I dated. Yeah, she's bad. I mean, I'm proud. I'm not embarrassed or, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Tell me why one of my exes was like, good shit on like winning, the pageant thing. And I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, good for you because you get to say that, but you need to get your shit together so I can say that.
well, no, I don't see like, no, that was good shit. And I'm proud of you for thinking of you as a friend and you being a beauty pageant person. The way that I look at you is with my friends look at me like they're proud. Some are just really proud for you. They want you to do cool shit because they don't feel threatened by an ego or anything. They know you're sincere, and they just want to see you succeed, and they get to tell the story of knowing you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's also been a lot of like, actually what I'm realizing in business is like the vulnerability thing, because you just talked about like how I'm like very honest, which comes out to be like vulnerability.
That's qualities about
and
you,
what I
though.
hate is vulnerability gets seen as like weakness.
Yeah, it does.
But it's not. It's just at the moment,
I mean,
right?
I don't know if women worry about that, but men do. I'm constantly worried with whatever I'm posting makes me look vulnerable.
But I feel like it makes it more like you connect with someone better because you know it's real. Like we're human, we're all going through like ups and downs, so it's like for you to like, no one will ever be like, oh my god, that sucks, like don't hang out with this person because they're like, you know, they have really bad luck or whatever, right? But it's like
my clients are saying they talk like
right
that.
really.
Yeah, well, they're horrible.
Well, I mean, it's different.
Artists, musicians, they're horrible.
Well, it's different if you don't have like your shit together to provide a service that like I'm paying for,
Very true.
right?
Very true.
If
Very true.
yeah, that's not acceptable. But like to judge someone because like something bad happened to them,
Yeah, you're a piece of shit for sure.
yeah,
No one really does that.
yeah, no one's really like that evil heart. If anything, they should be feeling sympathy as a normal human being.
Yeah, well,
Right?
people online do that. People online will kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. 100%. But my era, like, you know, because of my Instagram, people just talk shit. People are horrible. No, I'm serious. Like
No, I do
they
see like
literally call me culture vulture for no reason, and it's just like that's hell of offensive to me. I'm like, whoa.
culture vulture.
When you're not black and you take money from black people, and yeah.
Which makes no sense because
Fine,
you
but
would
it's
think
easy
to take
say.
money from the white
It's
people.
easy to say. It's easy to say. It's just easy
You would
to
want
say.
to take money from the majority of the country, not the minority.
It's just easy to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, logically, that doesn't make any sense to me.
What is your? So you have a lot of white people approach you in San Francisco, right?
Well, have you looked at the population of San Francisco?
Well, there's a bunch of people that like Asian women in San Francisco.
Yeah, they're
That's
white.
in
There's
general.
only like white and Asian, really,
This
and
is a
all the
clip.
Indian people in Fremont,
This
right?
is a clip. This is a clip. Yeah, there's a bunch of Indian people in Fremont. So are Indian men approaching you? Do Indian men approach you a lot?
Yeah, they're, you know, just like how? I mean, I'm not really like out there approachable, I want to say.
Indian and Asian women date a lot.
I mean, maybe
Are
in
they-
the city, because that's
They're in
all
the
there
city.
is. There's just Asian girls and a bunch of Asian guys and white guys, and there's not even black people in the city
There's
anymore.
not.
I don't see any.
No, there's
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
There's
there's no
not.
more color in the city.
There's not.
Yeah,
Is it boring?
East Asian, white, and Indian. But Indian's Asian, I guess.
Are girls in the city looking for something different?
I don't know, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of like cultural variety,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, I mean, I know Asian culture.
You hella know Asian culture.
I am Asian
You
culture.
are Asian culture. You're the one that made me feel a little bit closer to it, even though I'm not. Well, you introduced me to more of my Asian friends that I have now. Like, I don't know. Like seeing Wendy on there going, like, doing the school shit, that's cool.
That is really cool.
That's hella
And I
cool.
I want to get more involved, you know, in the community that I'm in too. Like my Asian community, but also just like my neighborhood and the city and stuff. Like,
You're so stressed out right now. I don't see that happening for a couple of years.
yeah, I just need to like, hey, I just came out of a pandemic, okay?
And a relationship. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep bringing you on because we have the greatest talk. So I'm really glad. Kind of crazy it took this long to get us back to do a set.
It's because I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Everything's shot up.
And the other car got stolen, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
I need to
covered
tell
it.
you about this
No, you
person
did. Yeah, you did.
that he's a fraud.
Oh.
That the FBI called me.
No.
That he goes by Long Nguyen.
Really?
Yeah, but that is his name.
But that's not his name.
No, that is his name because I like background checked him and everything. And
He's just your friend, though, right?
yeah, but he like claimed to have like a lot more money than he did, and he scammed people through telling them that they were, you know, he could like invest their money. He took thousands of dollars from his coworkers and friends, and like bounced. And then the FBI called me and was like, "We believe that someone you have come in contact with is a con artist.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How long have you known this guy?
Since 2016.
And how
Or
did you know?
17.
How did you meet him?
Through a dating app.
Wow.
Like first, and then like we went on a date, and then like it just wasn't that, and then we said to like remain friends. So I felt like he was grooming me like for years to like get money out of me. But
This is wild. That's like a Dateline story.
that's why like this whole Tinder swindler thing happening. I was like, oh my God, is it just like trending? Like all of a sudden, like everyone's a con artist.
Yeah, everyone's a con artist. Everyone's going on life of crime. It's crazy. Okay. We should end it. We're about an hour. Thank you, my friend Josie, the Beautician.
On
Always.
relationships today.
Yeah, it's a relationship podcast. Well, I think we're going to go into everything. We'll go into just everything. I mean, next podcast, we'll talk about Dallas more relationships, stuff like that. All right, man. Create podcast. I'm just talking about my friend Josie, man. So, Nick, get some clips out of that. We're out. One love. Bye-bye.